So with that, let's jump right into it. As you all know, GDPR is a pretty big deal for a lot of the companies who are processing European Union resident data. And so it's also CCPA is considered as like kind of the GDPR version for California residents. And so most of the requirements, if you do apple to apple comparison, seems to be have evolved from the GDPR requirement. But having said that, CCPA goes a little bit farther in particularly in certain areas, and of course GDPR focuses more on the penalty and other stuff. So the second thing is also obviously CCPA provides more rights to the consumers as consumer of the data. So it provides you access to your particular data and then what you can do with your data, and you could pretty much decide and determine what is that the companies need to do with your data. And then most of the nonprofits are excluded from CCPA. I think the intention behind that is nonprofits are probably not going to be, one is the cost of complying with that, and then the second thing is going to be nonprofits are not going to be pretty much profit-oriented, profit-minded to sell your data, consumer data to data processors and other things. And then as we speak, I think like as of last week, there were quite a few amendments that were added to CCPA, including the scope and what sort of requirements are in there. So we'll try to cover some of those things as well as part of that. So first thing is who's in scope for CCPA, whether your company is going to be complying with CCPA, required to comply with CCPA or not. So this is all applicable for any profit business operating in California, in the state of California. If one of the three conditions are met, then you need to be complying with CCPA. So the first one is if your gross revenue is more than $25 million. I know like there are quite a few folks on the call. They're from much larger companies. If your gross revenue is more than $25 million, this is like across the board, not just California revenue. And then the second thing is if you receive or share more than 50,000 consumer data. They call it personal information. Personal information, it could be, I have a separate slide that talks about what is considered as personal information under CCPA. But if you're...
For more information, click on the link below or visit databrackets.com.